Okay, it's October 20th and we are doing this again. You may remember when I recorded this, the video for the March in June, started off on the train. I'm on the tube now. Well, I just got off the tube at Hyde Park Corner. It's a different starting point this time, St Park Lane. Last time I was on a moderately crowded Saturday morning tube. This morning the tubes and the trains are heaving. I don't know whether to read anything into that. I guess we'll find out when we emerge into the daylight. Yeah, the station is like something out of Fritz Lang's Metropolis. This is looking quite promising.
Yeah.
I know what I want to see. Am I going to see what I want to see? Oh yeah. Yep.
That's what you want.
Yep, this is the real thing, folks. Oh yeah. Right, so I'm still near the entrance to the Hyde Park Corner Tube, which is about half a mile from the designated starting point, and it's absolutely rammed. So I assume it's rammed all the way to the Park Lane Hilton, which is where the starting point is supposed to be. Yeah, people have turned up for this. I'm going to try and find the new European gazebo like I did last time, but I may not. Not to worry. Okay, well that's a bit of a turn up. I went looking for the new European gazebo. I did not find the new European gazebo, but I did find Alistair Campbell and Francis. Yeah. Hello, Francis, who is kind of organising all this. And I've been bundled to the front. So I'm now holding the big banner at the front. So yeah, it's I've kind of had what I guess the army would call a field promotion. So okay, one good thing, they got a bear in the air. News cameras in the helicopters. That's what we wanted. Okay, this is a little nerve-wracking because I'm now right at the front, and I am, by some measure, the least famous person on the front row of this protest. Eddie Izzard's over there. Deborah Beaton's down there. Al Campbell's over there. I'm sorry, Deborah's over there. You're quite right, that was very mean of me. Deborah Beaton is standing to my immediate left. Okay, and there is no difference in altitude whatsoever. Mariella Foster's over there, Al Campbell's over there. I'm horribly reminded of that time I got snuck into the hacked-off Christmas party, and it was basically a whole bunch of rock stars and me, and I felt horribly self-conscious. But oh well. Right, we still haven't moved yet, but this sort of a VIP strip in which I appear to have inveigled my way in is filling up. Richard Bacon's here.
I'm here.
Hey, Rich.
Hello,
Rich, Mitch, you probably don't remember we did a Doctor Who set visit a bunch of years ago.
Yeah, I do remember.
Yeah.
Hang on, was that when I was doing my 5 Live show in
It was
Wales?
5 Live show, and we were on the radio in the TARDIS.
It was excellent.
Yeah, it was great fun. It was great. It was a good day for me. Yeah, one of my best days ever.
It's a day for me. I'm a Doctor Who fan as well.
It was good fun. It's good fun.
Yeah.
How are you feeling anyway? Because you were like, well, basically clinically dead about 2 weeks ago. So you're looking remarkably healthy considering.
I nearly died in July.
You did?
I lived for this. I lived for today.
Absolutely. After this, the gods will release him. But I said when I was hosting the rally in Cardiff that we're going to know we're winning this when Tories start turning up. Just over there, you've got Anna Soubry about 18 inches away from Chukaramuna. So
Sarah Wollaston too.
Sarah Wollaston's here, yes. My long cherished notion of a coalition of the sane is starting to take fruition. Okay, they're moving. We're holding back because we're behind this big banner thing. We're not moving yet. We are not moving yet. We're still not moving yet. They're forcing the paparazzi back to make room for us. This is all weirdly glamorous, and yet not. What do we want?
People's vote.
When do we want it?
Now. People's vote.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
People's vote.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
People's vote.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
People's vote.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
People's vote.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
People's vote.
When do we want it?
Now.
Someone else's go! I sing for a living and I can't do this forever! Vote! No!
People's vote.
No! So basically, we're getting packed like crazy.
Hello, mate.
And I'm in the middle of it. I'm just photobombing now, that's literally all I'm doing. Well, that's my favourite banner right there. You lied to us. That's really what this is all about, isn't it?
You'd be in favor of a final deal. Whatever you thought, you could swing it. You'd be saying bring it whenever people talked about a final deal. Why is giving the people an informed choice be such a crime? It's almost as if you don't think you did win the first time. I'm of the opinion if you thought you were winning, you'd be in favor of a final deal. But you think you're getting kicked, and that's why you're too chicken. So let the people have a final deal.
Being at this sort of little VIP enclosure is actually quite hard going because we started moving and then we stopped moving and now we're not moving. Because of course we're behind this massive banner that goes from one end of the street to the other. So we can't just kind of shuffle forward the way you do in a march. They kind of have to wait for everybody who's in front of us to naff off out of the way, and they're not. It's not just paparazzi, it's like, just regular people as well, but we kind of need everybody else to move forward before we can move forward. But, this just means that there are more people here than we can comfortably deal with, which is a good thing. If a slightly uncomfortable one at the moment. I'm not sure how this happened, but I appear to have acquired the megaphone. This may not end well. What do we want?
People's vote.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
People's vote.
When do we want it?
Now.
We just had confirmation there are 500,000 people on this march. Well, I'm feeling pretty pleased about that. It's making it kind of difficult to move, but you've got to be happy with that. Right, as a consequence of the massive turnout today, this is moving vestigially slowly, which means basically they've had to spirit all the VIPs away so they can get to the stage in time to do the speeches. So I've kind of inherited the front row. I've kind of inherited the banner and the megaphone. So, I appear to be acquiring more and more responsibilities as the day goes on. It's all good. What do we want? What do we want it? What do we want? What do we want it? What do we want? What do we want it? What do we want? What do we want it? Everybody keep moving forwards if you can.
Slowly, please. Slowly.
So, none of us can get online. All the servers appear to be crashed. All the mobile networks appear to be dying. I'm guessing we're just overloading them. Although I'm told hashtag People's Vote March is trending #1, which would be good. And also, we got to look at the BBC News website, and they are estimating 570,000 people. And it certainly looks like it. I don't know if you can see that, but it says Carol Cadwallader for PM.
I wholeheartedly concur.
Okay, we're only halfway up Whitehall and the crowd have started turning around. So basically, I guess whatever was happening in Parliament Square has now happened. But I found me mum. I found me mum. I didn't know she was coming. How's about that then? Look at that. Say hello, mum.
Hi, sweetheart, how are you?
That's my mum, that is.
Who are we talking to, Leslie?
No, we're talking to the internet.
All right.
In due course.
All right,
yes.
okay.
Sorry, I'm quite a lot bigger than my mum. I'd have to crouch down
There
here.
we are.
So yeah, I
Okay.
sneaky bugger didn't tell me she was coming. But there you go.
That Brit is smashed.
It's the morning after, well, technically the afternoon after. Yeah, that was a thing. Way too tired last night to try and cut this together. It's extraordinary just how tiring walking that slowly is. Because I was stuck behind that big banner for more or less the whole time, and it was just literally a snail's pace, sort of shuffling along a few steps and then having to wait for everybody in front to move back a bit and then shuffle the banner a bit forward. So yeah, I don't think I covered more than about 2.5 miles, but I did the whole thing at literally about sort of half a mile an hour, and it's actually quite exhausting. And that, I think, is sort of the biggest indicator I can give you as to just how big that was. Obviously, when you're right in the middle of it, you can't really tell what scale the demonstration is. I've seen all the aerial footage now. I've seen that we basically appear to have occupied the whole of the city centre. And there were sort of little pointers as you went along. For a start, as I alluded to in the video, how much further back the start line was. In June, the start line was at Waterloo Place, which is not that far away from Trafalgar Square. This time it was right back at the Park Lane Hilton, which is maybe a couple of miles further back. And over the course of the march, I actually said, because I said at one point, you see I acquired the megaphone, I actually pointed out when we passed the start line, the June start line. So it took us about 2 hours to get to the place where the march started in June. So give you an idea of just how much bigger this march was. I mean, my hope was that we could double it. I know June it was somewhere between about 120, 150,000. I've heard various figures between those two extremities. I thought, well, we're going to look a bit stupid if it's only about the same size. Obviously, we're going to look really stupid if it's smaller. My hope was that we could double it, and we at least quadrupled it. Well, one thing I don't know if the video conveys is the sort of the mounting sense of excitement as we proceeded through the town, as the reports are coming in as to what the estimated numbers were. I mean, even before we got started, we'd heard it was at least 500,000. And then around the time we got started, the BBC website was quoting 570,000. Then it was 600. Then it was 670,000. And by the time we actually went home, people were saying with a degree of authority that it was something in the nature of 700,000 people. Now, I'm looking online today, and there are people saying it was more than 1 million. I don't know where they're getting that from. And obviously, I can't really comment. But the only thing I do know is, like I say, it started about 2 miles further back. And also, I never made it anywhere near Parliament Square. Last time in June, I made it into Parliament Square and went and sat down right at the front so I could video the speeches. Now this time, partly because I was stuck behind that banner that was moving more slowly than anything else in town, I didn't get anywhere near Parliament Square. By the time we got into Whitehall, people were apparently being turned away from Parliament Square for safety reasons. Obviously, you can't get 500,000 people into Parliament Square. We could see that the speeches are still going on. So obviously, it started a bit late. It was meant to be over by 3, and this is already about 3:30. And I think I could see Richard Bacon on the big screen, because they have like overflow screens as you go up to Whitehall for people who can't make it into the square. But people were already sort of leaving, and the traffic was starting to turn around and head back towards Trafalgar Square. So, and also by that time, I was in the company of my 78-year-old mum, who, as you can tell from the video, I had no idea was even coming down to London. She's an absolute bloody legend, my mum. Because I bumped into James O'Brien early on. Didn't see him on the march. I saw him on the tube. Should have got some video of that. Never occurred to me. But my mum was the world's biggest James O'Brien fan. So I had a brief chat with James, got a selfie of the pair of us and sent it to my mum. Little knowing that my mum was already on the train at this point. I was already on her way into London. I was, sending a message telling me to do it. And then she said, yes, I'm down here. I couldn't stay away. Don't bother looking for me. I'm like, eh. So eventually she told me where she was. She was standing in front of Trafalgar Studios Theatre at the top of Whitehall. And I was like, oh, I'm only about 200 yards away. Just stay put and I'll come find you. And I did. So by that stage, I was also looking after my mum. So I thought, all right, we turned it around and headed back into Trafalgar Square. And got her back to Charing Cross station, where she got the tube back to Euston to get home again. But yeah, there was no way of getting into Parliament Square, which means I missed my ostensible moment of glory, which is that they played the video for the Final Deal vote song on the big screen as part of the sort of video preamble to the speeches. I was still about 2 miles away when that happened, still shepherding their bleeding banner. So I never got to see that. I'm told it was well received. If any of you were videoing it in the square at around the time that they showed my song on the big screen, do send that to me, because obviously for reasons of pure ego, I'd really like to see that moment. So what happens now? Well, as I've said a few times in the sort of the videos I've been in trying to lead up to this, the march in June did make a difference. People started talking in far more confident terms about the idea of having a vote on the final deal. People started to get that is not a question of having a do-over of the 2016 referendum or just having endless votes until it comes our way. It's talking about voting on something which has not yet been voted on, and ultimately the only thing that really matters. There is a report this morning in the Sunday Times that civil servants are looking into the practicalities of putting this out to a vote again. Now, that wasn't happening in June. And this was a much bigger deal than June. So let's see what happens next. So congrats and many, many thanks to everybody who made it down to London yesterday. For everybody who couldn't make it down to London yesterday, don't worry, because this is just getting started. There's going to be plenty more for you to get involved with. And for those of you who just want me to sing rude songs, I will do something that's not about Brexit this week. I promise, okay? Haven't entirely got it out of my system, but yesterday was pretty cathartic, one way or another. All right, thanks very much. See you soon.
This video was made possible by the supporters of my Patreon project, who help me make fun things while receiving great perks and rewards. If you enjoyed it, why not follow the link and join us?